recently for almost 3 years, but I grew up here for 19 years and I went to another church for 19 years. And my husband wanted to be in a small church, so I came back. I've been everywhere else. This is how we do it. You need to skirt on, but
Just put it on.
warm. Yeah, it got kind of cold when I was on my way. I was like, I ain't taking nothing off this.
All right, take.
Yeah, this got
All right, so if you can pivot this way, you said this. Which one? What'd you say? That's your good side right there. You serious?
I think so.
You want your good
So
side?
no, this is my good side. So
I need your other side.
okay, so if you want the other side,
All right, take one step back this way.
okay,
Stephanie, can you come over here, please, so that she can look at you over here?
okay.
Don't. No. Alrighty.
You'll stop right there, but we still don't want you to fall in front.
Look, I'm gonna hold on. Right?
Can you pivot your body just a little bit like that? Perfect. Amen. All right, focus on your eyes.
I makeup today, y'all like
You
blessed
have
1,000, dude.
You said you did.
Yes.
You said
I just
1,000.
didn't, sung off my lip gloss, but you know.
Now, oh,
Yeah.
It's like alto soprano.
Well,
Tell
I
me.
do all of it.
Okay.
I was in there teaching, so
Oh,
I sing
okay.
soprano now in here.
Okay. All right. So please speak really loudly.
Okay.
Because we also have the music in the background. But even
you
if
might want to real loud.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, real
Gotcha.
loud. Okay. All right. Could you please state your first and last name and the church that you attend and location?
My name is Darcell Clack, and I attend the Church of God at Kent Street in Flint, Michigan.
All right. 2 seconds. One more time. Hush. 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 All right. One more time, please.
My name is Darcell Clack, and I attend the Church of God in Flint, Michigan on Kent Street.
All right. Want question number 1 this time?
Sure.
Go for it.
How has the Flint water crisis affected your family personally?
Well, personally, we've had to move out of a water-damaged home. We became homeless at one time. As well, our skin deteriorated and affected my intimacy with my husband. Both of us. My children both have eczema, so it really affects their skin. I do have to still boil bottled water for my 2.5-year-old in order for her to bathe herself and tie my 9 and 10-year-old sons to a 3 to 4 minute shower. So, or wash up because we kind of avoid showers. We really try to, hit them spots, and that's what we do. But it has also affected my child's behavior a lot. So he's in counseling and therapy. He's been bedwetting for 12 months now as a 9-year-old. So we have really had a lot of challenges.
You mentioned something interesting when you said that you were part of an interview for Blank magazine and the reason why they highlighted you. Tell us about the magazine and also what the highlight entailed.
Okay. I was a part of an interview process where they wanted stories being told to the New York Times about women who had been pregnant or nursing, specifically toward breastfeeding and its effect on the children. Fortunately, my husband, before the water crisis, said, "Honey, the water tastes funny. Buy bottled water from now on," and that's what I was drinking before they even announced not to drink. So God really touched my husband's heart in that situation, so that didn't affect my daughter in that way. My son, his behavior, of course, has been affected, but that's what the article was highlighting. Our story as new parents of a child born during the water crisis that was also nursed.
So you mentioned that your husband said that before they announced it. How long ago was that? Or how long then would you say technically do you think this crisis was really going on?
I think that he announced to me about 3 or 4 months before it was announced. He said the water does not taste right. I don't know what's going on, but this does not taste right and you are pregnant. We had found out in January we were pregnant. December that we were pregnant. In January he told me to buy bottled water. And in April of that same year, I believe, is when they announced that the water should not be drank.
You said that, what did she say? that you had, the home was water damaged, and Lawrence had mentioned that something happened to the water heater at the church. So is the contaminated water messing up your home pipes and things?
Yes. The contaminated water, based on my experience and a lot of my friends in Flint, they've had to purchase new furnaces because the water reservoirs in the bottom rusting out all of their connecting pipes. They've had to purchase this, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. They've had to purchase new water heaters because it's rusting out of the pipes there. And the water heaters, of course, the fixtures in your sink need to be replaced too because the lead's been going through that and replaced it. And it's been just a travesty how much we've had to replace. But it's been a lot of those major appliances. Some people, even their washers and dryers have broken down because of the corrosiveness of the water. But it is corroding everything. It's amazing to me that General Motors knew that way before us.
Have you considered leaving, or do you want to stay and hold down the fort? Where do you and your family stay?
We still stay in Flint, Michigan, on the north end of Flint, near Northern High School. Right now, I'm staying because of the health of my mother. Other than that, I'm ready to go. But of course, in my opinion, if there's a problem or there are a lot of problems in a place, I don't feel like everybody is born to leave. Some people are born to be the solution. I don't know whether that's me or not right now, but I'm prepared to do either one.
You said being part of a solution. Have you been actively a part of the solution, whether it's through your church or any organizations or anything of that nature?
Yes, I actually got a grant in order to teach music at different charter schools in Flint, specifically at Genesee STEM Academy. We did that for 2 years. This will be our 3rd year this spring. The grant is over, so we're now doing this totally as volunteers, but we're promoting coping skills and assisting people through fine arts and in coping with the water crisis and giving some dialogue, an opportunity for dialogue for the children through theatrical performances, music, instrumentation, in order to help them to cope with that and have somewhere to talk about it, because a lot of people say, shh, don't talk about that, or they don't really have a lot positive to say to a child and don't really want to put the weight of that on them. But hey, we're making them brush their teeth with bottles of water, boil their hot dogs with bottles of water, you know what I mean, boil their noodles, the things kids make for themselves. They're made to adhere to whatever precautions we have to take, so it's already on them, so we need to learn to help them to cope.
What are some of the things that the children have told you about their experience that is often hushed?
They're scared. They're afraid for their future. They're afraid that they're going to die. They're afraid that they can't learn anymore. I've seen most people who have been peaceable. I have students I've had for 3 years that have turned into bullies or have behavioral issues. And so those are the kids that don't experience that particular thing. They're looking at their friends like, wow, they weren't the same last year. It really scares them is really what it is. And they know what they're supposed to do, but of course they don't know all the answers of what's going to happen if they don't. So of course there's going to be that 3, 4, 5-year-old that sneaks a drink of water out of the sink. They don't understand. Or they're in the tub and they swallow water. They don't understand all that. So either they don't understand or they're afraid of the pieces that they've been given to understand. So mostly it's fear, and that nobody's really talking about it in a positive way, so they don't want to talk about it.
So what do you tell them?
Educate them on the right foods to eat, those green leafy spinach, the red apples, the things that help pull the lead out of the system. What people don't talk about with the children is that you test for lead, it tests only those 30 days it's in your blood. After those 30 days, it seeps into your bones and tissues, and it's untestable. That means that they could be lead poison, but testing negative. It's a problem. Real problem. I'm in healthcare.
Your question.
Girl.
You are shocking me.
So do you believe, because I feel like this opened up a whole nother can.
I know.
Do you believe that the government and the media is still suppressing information to make it seem like it's not as bad as it really is?
Absolutely. It's not even an act of suppression. It's just a silence.
Could you
In
go
my
back and
opinion.
repeat her question to you?
Yes, I do. I do not believe, or I do believe that the government and media are kind of suppressing, promoting, talking about the situation with the water. And I don't think it's so much of they're actively suppressing it or saying don't talk about it. It's more of a silence to say if we're not talking about it, it doesn't exist type of thing. And my desire in that situation is to see people have a real dialogue. Let's talk about it in reality. Let some scientists talk to these moms and let them know, yep, so what did they tested negative? What have you seen your child do since that time? How have you seen them behave? What have their grades been? I personally went from an all A students, and he got 3 E's this term. All A been lifted twice. He's 9 in the 5th grade. Most people turn 11 in the 5th grade. He'll be turning 10 at the end of the year. You know, so when you have that type of situation, we have seriously bright children, and then you see them just deteriorate. That's really the observation of the people around them is what they need to talk about. You know, because once you go outside of that testing area or that testing time period, there's no way unless you go start chipping bones off your kids, and they're still growing. You're not supposed to. Unless, you know, most people get tested if it's a cancerous situation, but other than that, people usually test samples of your bone. You know?
Oh my. Stephanie, next question. This is deep, yo.
It is.
Oh no.
I'm trying to.
Is there anything that you want to tell us that we haven't asked or something we should know regarding this whole situation?
What
You
I
can
would
tell
like
us
to
flat
say-
out.
Just tell us like a T.I. is.
I would love to see Rick Snyder burned at the stake. But since we love Jesus,
Praise the Lord.
I really want to see him have to pay for what he did to our children.
What did Rick Snyder do to the children?
He poisoned them. He knew the information months and months beforehand. We know that, maybe even a couple of years beforehand. They chose to, I did my research. First of all, they chose to switch the pipes off because they had severed their relationship with Detroit to the Flint water system without the correct testing. When they did decide to turn them on, they chose to use a cheap, I don't want to say purifier for the water. That's what started to erode the pipes and let the lead seep in. Instead of using the chlorine, it was a different chemical that they used. That's what was irritating. That was found that that chemical was what was irritating to the skin and making people peel, burn, itch. It eroded the pipes. They decided to be cheap. They decided to hide things, and Rick Snyder knew this. And he is the one who's responsible for making those decisions. For that reason, he needs to pay for those decisions. He needs to come to grips. There's people in jail for a $5 bag of weed. It's people who are in jail for so many things that are minuscule, for parking tickets. I personally went to jail for 5 days for a paid parking ticket 10 years old. And you mean to tell me he poisoned our children, maybe made them unable to reproduce their own families by letting their cognitive ability? And then you mean he's just sitting in office still there getting a paycheck? I don't think that's fair.
Well, that leads to another question. Do you think then that this might be an attack basically on the African American culture?
I don't personally think it's African American pointed, but we are a big part of who are part of Flint. We are a big percentage of who Flint is. I think it is targeted at minorities. I think it is targeted to people who don't have enough money to replace the water systems, replace the appliances, replace the major home items that they would have to replace, and forcing them out in order for them to pour monies into Flint. And then, all of a sudden the property values will go up after they've bought them at dirt cheap levels, and they will become rich. It's all about money, in my opinion. It's nothing, they don't care about this community. When GM pulled out, they took all their tax breaks and all of that. GM pulled out of the community. Now, I guess Trump's trying to force them back. I don't know. But all I know is when they pulled out of the community, there was a hole where we needed some finance. there was a lot of things. I used to work in finance for the city, by the way. So I would see the budget of $25,000 burned up in fireworks every year. I would see the budget being balanced. By the way, I was told to do the budget of the city. And so I see that there was irresponsible handling of monies in Flint. But with this on top of it, there are monies that have been sent here, and all they do is pay people to hand out cases of water. That's it. That's it. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. And filters and water, and the filter for the water, pure filters and things. Okay, thank you for that. But even then, when tested, we are still finding lead through the filters. Though it says it eliminates 99%. Okay, that means there must be, if it's doing what it says it's doing, there must be such a high concentration in there that it's still being detected. So, I mean, I'm outdone by everything's been done with this water crisis. And it's hard to be part of a solution when what we can only do is talk about it. Because we personally don't have the finance, and the government has not stepped in. They're ready to build this $1 billion wall. Oh, the $55 million that we need, Trump, go ahead and send it on down. Since you want to spend billions on a wall to Mexico that is unnecessary.
Wow.
This is my last question. I know that, like you just said, there's not really anything that we can do to force them to send the money. There's not anything that we can do to go and dig the pipes out and replace them ourselves. But what do you, as a Flint resident, what do you feel that not just the people of Detroit, the residents of Michigan, but the people of our country, what do you feel like we could be doing to help while we're waiting for justice to be served?
To help the individual in general in water crises like these. I know that there's other public area schools in different cities around the country that now have been testing and finding lead in the city's plumbing infrastructure. What I think we should do, first of all, educate on diet. Diet is the only thing that can pull that lead out of your system. If you're getting enough vitamin C, you can pull that lead out of your child's system and a system. My children have red apples probably daily. They have greens, they have kale, turnip greens, collard greens all the time, green beans, all the green leafy vegetables. They have plenty of orange juice. There's things that you need to do in order to make sure your child or yourself or your especially elderly and children get that lead pulled out of their system as soon as that you know that there's a difference. But everyone should, because you don't know what degree to which you have been poisoned. Whether it be by, at first they told us we were inhaling it when we took a hot shower, so take cold showers. So it's so many different things, but as a country, I think that we need to be writing our senators, our representatives. We need to be writing the president. I won't say our, but we need to be writing the president while he's still here. And it's hard for me to be positive about Trump. I'm sorry. But yeah, we do need to write those leading officers. We need to get the minority places involved. The NAACP, I haven't heard them talk about anything a whole lot. I haven't heard them say too much. I haven't heard people in an outcry and outrage. And when people have come, Snoop has come. So many celebrities have come to Flint, bringing in all these cases of water that, guess what, a lot of them are sitting on the side of the road frozen right now. Yes, they are. Let's be all real. They're sitting on the side of the road frozen because guess what? It takes way too much time to take 5 cases of 40 bottles of water to do 1 bath for 1 child. Think about the first time I did that once, just to see how long. It took me 6 hours to get my water. First of all, yeah, I had to put it in a tub with hot water to warm the bottles, then pour them in the tub, because you can't just boil that amount of water. But it takes about 5 cases of water per bath. Though that's probably what everybody projected and why they were donating so much. We drink that water, yes, but bathing, people are getting hotel rooms. They're going to friends and families' homes in Flint Township, Pierre, Burton, different places that are not on the Flint water system in order just to bathe. I have a membership at Planet Fitness, and that's where I take showers. I cannot do that at home, period. So those are the things that I'm doing, but it's just now at this point, it's too much of Band-Aids over a bullet wound at this point. These bottles of water are just Band-Aids. And these bullet wound that we have sitting here is not being properly addressed. It's ridiculous.
So, you're not the first person that said this. Water bottles are ridiculous. And see, that's me. I live in Rochester Hills, which is 30 minutes outside of Detroit, and I grew up in Detroit. But what they tell us is you guys need water bottles. So that's why I asked. I said, do y'all really need water bottles? Because I just started thinking that seems like it would be a nuisance. So what would be a good replacement in the stead? You know, you said the filters, the concentration of the lead is so high that it's still coming through the filter, so we don't trust that.
Right.
Individual water bottles is too much as far as bathing, cooking, washing hair, things like that. So what would be a good replacement for a temporary replacement until the 55 million is sent?
Why don't they put us all up in hotel rooms outside of the Flint area? If they got so much money to build on the Mexican wall, they can put us all in lovely hotel rooms that are not in the Flint area so that we can normally bathe until they restore all of our homes to proper usage, because we can't use the water. And plus we're paying the bills. My mother got a shut off this month, and I wish they would. Shut off for what? Because then if you don't have water, according to Child Protective Services, you can't have children there, you can't have elderly there, and they can condemn our homes. So then if we don't pay for water that's poisoned, then we're negligent. So the only solution I see is put us up into some hotel rooms maybe, or potentially, like especially most damaged areas. I think that it would be good to test a home to see what percentage of the lead is actually in that particular home or flowing through. But who knows from moment to moment. One moment early in the morning when it's been sitting all night, maybe you're going to detect a higher lead concentration. Later in the day, if you take it, you're going to detect a lower lead concentration because we've been using water all day. So it's all different. So I think that the best solution, if someone was to try to help, is not bottles of water. Maybe jugs of water would help. 2.5 gallon jugs would help. Would be easier for us to manage to use for life. But as a solution because they say they're not going to have safe drinking water until my children are grown. 15 years.
So
15 years. So I just hope that we find a solution. They've had different kits, shower kits, where you could push a pump and it would shower on you with the bottle. That would be great. I've never been offered that. I've lived in two different houses in the city of Flint. They've never come door to door to explain that. But we saw it on the news where it was a couple of people who tried it out right on the news and showed us how it worked. And I was like, great, where are they? Nowhere to be found. Citizens don't have them. Nowhere I've been, citizens don't have them. These great ideas are just ideas.
That's real.
So I just wanted to hear you clarify. So they are still charging you for the water. They're expecting you to pay.
Yes. Our bill is over $300 a month.
Can you put that in, like which bill it is?
Last month's bill was $326 at 3110 Brownell, where I live. And I think that is quite ridiculous. Not to mention that they started by putting a credit on the bill, and that was only for 1 month and one time, and after which they let the bill build up. They're saying that if you pay at least 10% of your bill, they're not going to shut you off, but the point is you're still building a bill against me for poisoned water. That bottom line, City of Flint pays $57.26 just to have water on. That's without a drop, without a toilet flushing, without a faucet being turned on, which is ridiculously high anyway. When you go to other places where, say in Ohio, they spend about $20 a month on water. In California, the same. Why not in Michigan when we're surrounded by water? Don't make no sense. People are raping us from the water company to Consumers Energy in Michigan, and no one is speaking up against it, and I am.
Yeah. Last question. Did you have one more? You said that was your last question.
That was ours.
Okay. Well, what brings you hope?
I'm at church, so Jesus. But The fact that I make sure I'm educated. The fact that I make sure that my vote counts. I vote. The fact that I make sure that my children understand what their responsibilities are and the dangers are of messing with that water or drinking that water, so that they can avoid that. But I have hope in the fact that regardless to whether I'm staying in the city of Flint or leave the city of Flint is still in my heart. It made me who I am today. Certainly not Snyder nor Trump, but the city of Flint did. And hopefully we'll be able to build another infrastructure so we won't see the continuing decline of our public schools and closures of our public schools. My hope is that I do have hope, and that hope in me is what I bring to the table. And however I can constructively serve that out, I'll do that. Whatever I can do, I will do. Whoever I can encourage or educate on diet or educate on testing for their children, I'll do all of that. But basically, inside me, I'm a beacon of hope because of God in me. It's not me. Be hopeful. So I hope that we could hopefully get to a point that we can resolve this issue or provide some really relevant interventions for this crisis until we actually get it fixed.
Amen. Amen. Anything else? All right.
They gave me a grant to teach fine arts, and this year we turned it toward the water crisis. So that's what we're
Wow. So I'm gonna even get you talking to everybody or whatever, just natural, and then I get a shot of you in the pew.
I want to see something with this. Let me see my hand bigger than yours. I want to see my hand bigger than yours. Come on, let me see. My hand bigger than my own.
What y'all talk about? 'Cause I know y'all been talking and you gotta go, but what y'all talk about?
Jesus is on the main line.
Water pipes.
All right, good.
We, Monday, 6:15.
Believe what?
Y'all twins?
Not only because you always singing.
If my client,
No, that's because we be killing her when we sing. We kill her so much.
Like singing right now.
Of course, I'm not.
Go ahead, sing.
I can't sing.
Well, we're singing right now. Just sing it. 5,
On the whole song, the whole
yes,
song.
5, 6, go. 5, 6, 7, go. Go ahead.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Leon,
They twins?
you in?
You're bigger than the universe. You're bigger than the sun and the stars. You're bigger than the things that can tear me apart. Okay, I can't do it. Okay, I can't do it.
we got most of